Well, at least for me here in the metro area, that's a wrap on the ice fishing season. It was an awesome one. We had some of the best ice we've seen in a long time. It got cold, it got really cold, it got warm. We saw all kinds of weather patterns. Weather was definitely a constant theme, I feel like, every week when we talked about this. And here we are, March 16th. I'm going to be ice fishing north at this point just for fun. Guide trips are done. Finishing them up this week. Thank you for everyone that came out with me on a trip. This was my first year back full time for many years. So I had a blast, got to fish with some amazing people, caught a pile of fish, made a ton of memories, both for myself and hopefully for some of you. So thank you so much. And for everyone that tuned in this entire ice fishing season, thank you. I really appreciate it. A lot of great conversations off camera, talking about things, whether it's in person, on the ice, at an event, or via message, or just some social media banter, having fun, having a good time. That's the idea. We're one big fishing community, and ultimately that's why a lot of us do this, put videos out, do the social media thing, because we love to engage with people, talk fishing. So thank you. Thanks a ton here as we move into mid-March. You know what? Our lakes are going to start to open up here real quick. It feels cold today. I think it's like maybe 30 degrees right now as I film this video in the afternoon, and it was like 15 degrees last night. But tomorrow I think I saw mid-60s again, so we're at that point of the year where things are just going to start to change quick again. And ice fishing, at least for this part of the state, is behind us, and we'll be back again next year. I'll be doing these reports every week as we move into the open water season, so we'll be talking about spring crappies here. We'll be talking about bass and walleye and pike, obviously, once that kicks off. So don't worry about that. Let's chat a little bit about this last week. This last week was pretty good. You know, the fishing was really good. It was really warm out. We saw, 70 degrees one day. We had multiple days in the 50s, 60. It was hot, it was sunny. It was very comfortable outside. I had anglers out there with us in t-shirts some days. So it was very comfortable outside. The fish were moving a ton. They were very hyper speed. We had windows of time where we caught them really well and we could just sit on top of them. And then we had windows of time where, man, did we punch a lot of holes and chase them down. I got a chance this year to use the live shuttle system from Clam Outdoors. You have the actual shuttle that the unit goes on. You have the soft carrying bag. You have the pole. Very impressed with this. All biasness aside, and everyone knows I worked at Clam for many years. They're like a second home to me. But this is sweet. I love how compact and neat this was. This entire thing I can just grab just like this, lift it up, run and gun. I have my amped battery in there, 48 series. They make a 52 now, I believe, that fits that same profile, fits in there nice and neat. And away we go, runs all day long. I think they did a great job with the pole. I really like it, very durable, very easy to use. So Clam, home run, I think, on your live shuttle system. I was skeptic at first, I'll be honest. There's so many great options out there, but this one was put through the ringer hard. I really liked it. Okay, shameless plug over. How did we catch our fish this last week? You know what is funny? Dark pattern presentations dominated this week. It was almost laughable. We had days on the ice where I had anglers fishing black pinheads. This is the reverse Wonder Bread. I don't think it's even made anymore. It was a Chronicle exclusive. And then they came up with one this last year that was black and purple. Between these two options, domination. Like, we caught so many more fish on these black spoons, these dark colored spoons, than anything else, to the point where if you didn't have one on, you noticed it. And I even had situations where I would fish this spoon, catch a few fish, go to something else, not catch fish. They'd come up, they'd look at me, they'd move away. I'd grab this rod again, and boom, we'd catch them. So for whatever it's worth, and many of you listening and watching maybe you have experienced this week. A lot of you may have fished with me this last week that are chuckling right now to themselves, because you know I'm right, that this dark colored spoon just outproduced everything. It didn't matter if it was gold, if it was Wonder Bread, if it was rainbow, if it was parrot, if it was fire tiger. Went back to these dark colored spoons and they just flat out got bit. Using the rod I designed this year, super excited. This will be out next fall. This is called the Crappie Noodle. You'll see more information on this. Designed this with Lonnie at Thorne Brothers. Super excited about it. It is specifically designed for pinhead and spoons, larger tungsten. This is your get after it and move crappie rod. Super excited to release this formally to everybody in the fall. Tested them, play with them all winter. You'll see more information coming out. Obviously, Spooler Elite, if you know me, that's what I'm running. 3-pound test, frost, monofilament, and that little pinhead. Just so much fun. I'm gonna miss that hook set when the ice fishing season's done. I just got to chase open water crappie. So that dark colored spoon, and in typical fashion, we had times where they didn't want that vertical presentation, the spoon. They wanted something horizontal. And once again, dark colored patterns prevailed and outfished everything else. This is a black chartreuse drop kick with a bolt minnow. I even know the name of this, sour grape, I think it is. It might be. It's the dark purple. There's chartreuse in there, but it's a darker pattern profile bait. That caught a pile of fish. And this is the other rod I designed with Lonnie and Thorne Brothers that'll be coming out in the MJO series next fall. This one's called the Stinger. We'll talk more about this again later too. You'll see more information on it, but this is a spring bobber rod. Phenomenal bait for fishing tungsten. Works exceptionally well. Great load. Bluegills, crappies, you name it. And again, I'm fishing an inline Spooler Elite 3-pound test frost mono. So that's my second setup, my tungsten setup. I would say between these two setups here, the noodle rod and spoon and the spring bobber rod and tungsten, I kind of had the crappies and bluegills dialed pretty well. You can upsize to a 16th ounce spoon on this noodle rod, no problem. This is a 1/32. You can fish up to easily a size 8 tungsten. This is a 10, but you can do a 12 as well. You can fish a smaller presentation with this. So these are both very versatile. This is going to cover most of your gamut for your crappie bluegill fishing between these two rods, these two setups. And you can do a schoolie reel on this spring bobber rod, which you've seen me use. You can do a spinning reel on the noodle rod if you want to fish bigger basin crappies. So again, very versatile. These two setups work exceptionally well. And that's how we caught our fish. A lot of our fish continue to roam the basin. We had a really good weed bite going all of winter. It dissipated just a little bit, and our bigger fish kind of moved into that edge of the basin zone. That 12 to 18 feet of water was really where we focused the last month, and that's where they will be right now. And once the ice comes off the lakes, that's where we'll find them. They're going to still be out in that first break until that water starts to jump into the 50s. Then they'll move up shallow into the cuts, shallow bays. You know how that works when that water and that surface temp really gets hot on some of those warmer days. But until then, they're going to be out on that edge of that basin. A lot of anglers want to go right up into the shallowest stuff right away when the ice comes off. I still think your biggest fish, your most expansive schools, they're just not there yet. They're going to still be right where you caught them, like this week in March through the ice. That's where they're going to be. You can see the schools with your forward-facing sonar if you have that, or even 2D, just run over the top of them. You can see the schools meandering probably 1 to 5 feet off the bottom if you're fishing that 16, 18 foot depth. And they're usually pretty easy to pick up. Don't put away some of this tungsten stuff. A lot of times I'll fish that right away. Smaller presentations. I have caught fish even on your pinheads over the side of the boat, pitching them out, no different, jigging over the top of them. We've caught fish doing that right away when the open water season hits. And then from there, it's just adapt and get ready for open water fishing, open water crappie fishing. So phenomenal ice season. We had a blast. The conditions, like I said, here in the Twin Cities at this point are just not for me. We busted through a little bit getting off, nothing major, but enough to go, okay, well, things are getting weird. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to throw on the chest waders and walk out there and climb on the ice and do all that. Not a big deal. Might make a trip up north here this next week, chase ice a little bit longer. Otherwise, picking up the boat on Tuesday from Rapid Marine, time to get focused. And I think in a matter of weeks, we'll be on open water, chasing open water crappies and getting another season going. So thanks a ton again for a great ice fishing season. I had a riot with all of you. Already looking forward to next year, already planning ahead for next year. And it's just how it works. So have a great rest of the ice fishing season. If you do get out, if I know some people going up to Winnipeg, still some ice to be had in several regions of the ice belt. Just around here where we've been hitting you with reports, that's pretty much a wrap. So if you do get out there, be safe. Please be safe, be cautious. And our next report will be all about open water crappies.